Hi, welcome to the video. So what I'm going to do today is take you through a systematic approach of going from play a scale to make music from that scale or improvise from that scale. This is something that I've taught to hundreds of students over the past 35 years, and if you apply your time into it, you will succeed with it. What I find most people when they first learn a scale, fast and improvise, they get intimidated by it. They say they don't have the talent to do it or they don't know what to do, and really it's not knowing what to do next, because it's a big jump from being able to play the pattern to be able to actually take the pattern and improvise freely within it. So I'm going to take you through steps that takes you from knowing the pattern to actually being able to use the pattern without a big jump. So you'll go through a series of simple things that each one, once you master it, you move on to the next one. Okay, so let's go and do this. So the first step is get out of the habit of just playing it rote from 6th string to 1st string, 1st string to 6th string. That's fine for when you're first memorizing it or you're trying to get it clean or get your technique down, but it's like learning the alphabet. You now need to create words and sentences to be able to actually have a conversation, and conversations are improvising. So it's not some magical thing to improvise. You improvise anytime you're talking to you. I'm improvising right now when I'm talking to you. I don't have a script here. So first thing to do is get used to starting on any note in the scale. So you're going to start here, and you need to be able to go any direction from the scale too. So just practice going ascending, descending, both directions, and it doesn't matter if you're using pentatonic instead. Just get used to moving through it, not in the ABC, just straight down, straight back up. Once you feel comfortable with that and know you won't get lost, then that's the first step. That was still an exercise. It still doesn't sound like music. But if you go to a note and you don't know what comes next, you're not going to be able to improvise. Okay, so first step is just play through in that continuous fashion and get comfortable with it. I have a whole video on that where I go into much more advanced variations. You can check that out up in the corner. But let's move on. So now let's make it musical. So how do I start making that sound like music? I need to interrupt it. What I don't want to do is go more than about 5 notes before I do something that interrupts the flow of the scale. Because once I go more than 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's no going back. It already sounds like a scale. But I can get away with going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it still sounds a little bit musical. And you can go fewer notes too. I could go 1, 2, 3, or just do 2 notes, or 4 notes. So anything up to 5 is fine. If you're playing really fast, you can maybe get away with more than 5 notes, because if I'm going faster, it's taking a shorter period of time to get through those notes. While if I'm playing very slow, it's anything more than 5 and it's going to just sound like a scale. So the exercise now, first one after the continuous play, is play just like in the continuous play one, any direction from any note, but pause every 2, 3, 4, 5 notes in vibrato. So you can move through and listen to the notes. Here, okay, I pause on that note. Now listen, does that sound good with the next note I pause on? At first, don't worry about if it doesn't. Learning from your mistakes is as important as learning from your successes. Learn that, well, this note doesn't sound quite as good as this other one when you go from one to another. So experiment and say, okay, do I like that? Or do like that one that comes after it? There's no right or wrong necessarily, because that's why there's so many genres of music. It's your personal taste. So after that, next step, we have to interrupt it in a different way. The problem with what we are doing right now is it's only 5-note phrases at the most. We need longer phrases. So how do you do that? We put direction changes in. So now the exercise will be, I'm going to play same thing, maybe 2 notes, 3 notes, whatever. Then I'll change directions. And at any point, I can then still put the pause and vibrato in. So I can go 1, 2, 3, change directions, vibrato. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th note, I change directions. So you can go whatever length and whatever speed I want, doesn't matter. So second step is add direction changes. This gives you longer phrases. Still, eventually you have to pause, so you combine the two together. Next step, we're going to add skips. So pentatonic scale, compared to your natural minor, already has some notes it's skipping. It's leaving two of the notes out. By skipping notes, it breaks up that monotony of whole step, half step, everything sounding the same. So if I'm doing in the 7-note scale and put some skips in, I might be doing something like, and there I skipped up from this note to here. I might roll my finger to note under it, or skip a note there, or skip another note, which creates the arpeggio actually. Now pentatonic is no different. The simple one in pentatonic to do for skips is just rolling your note to the string above or below. So you can be playing here. So I roll a note again, still only going the small number of notes, but adding another option of skip notes to your direction changes and pauses. So another thing you can do is you can, when you're doing this, you can repeat notes to kind of break up the monotony, or you can repeat whole phrases. I could be doing something like this, and I can repeat it, or I can just add a repetition again to create more variety. At this point, if you want to, you could add in any other skills such as slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, etc. Or you can keep going with the variations without those. Those can be added at any point, again, to create more variety and interest. So if I have a phrase here, I could then, instead do a pull-off on it, or a hammer-on. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, I can go, or you can put bends or slides or whatever you want. So again, create more variety in it. Now, if you don't know those, then don't worry about that. You can still make this sound good without them. The next step is adding more contrasts. So more, kind of like we were just talking about adding variety. A contrast is changes that are kind of opposites, such as playing slow and then playing, speeding up faster and slower. Even if you don't have a lot of speed, you don't have to play something really quick. If you are playing, your maximum speed is here, then play something slower than that. You can still create contrast in speed. Create contrast in dynamics or volume. So go softer or louder. And the whole video on dynamics, so you could also check that out. I'll put a link in that for that too. Create different length phrases. If you're always doing phrases that are 4 or 5 notes long, that's going to get monotonous. So create something that's short, and then something that's longer. Change your complexity is another way to create contrasts. So play something simple, and then play something that's a more complex variation on that. And at this point, you're really starting to have it sound more like music, because you have lots of options in here. So to recap, first start continuous playing, just to get comfortable with it. It's still an exercise. Next, add in pauses, 3 to 5 notes, not more than 5 usually. Add in skips on notes, rolling fingers or jumping between different notes. Be careful if you jump too many times, it's going to start sounding disconnected. So don't have large jumps right after each other. Repeat notes or phrases, speed, dynamics, which is like volume, the length of your phrases, the complexity of your phrases. Have something simple and then complex. All these are things that build you up to be able to start playing music. We haven't talked at all about having chords in the background yet, or different, creating variations on the ideas, pulling ideas from songs and creating your own licks from that. I can do that in future videos if you're interested. If you do like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment, any of that stuff that shows interaction. This tells not just me that you like it, but it tells YouTube algorithm, which is the most important thing, because then they show my videos to more people. If they don't show it to anyone and very few people watch it, then it's not going to motivate me to make a part 2 and show you some of the further options. So anyways, hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.